This question 4 is a fairly large question, so I'm going to scroll up and down so we can kind of fit the graph in. And we have a cumulative frequency graph that is 240 cars testing how far they can travel on 10 liters of fuel, and here is the graph. And so let's look at what questions you're being asked to answer. Part A, to find the median distance. Part B, to calculate the interquartile range. And Part C, to find the number of cars that traveled more than 130 kilometers. So just to make life easy, I'm just going to write Part A. It wants to find the median. Part B, it wants to find the interquartile range. And Part C, they want us to find the number of cars that traveled more than 130 cars. So number of cars more than 130 kilometers. So there are 3 questions. Now we can just barely fit the graph into the screen, but the median, we have 240 total cars. That was from the statement. Don't always just assume it's the top number in the graph. Sometimes the graphs will flatten out before they reach this top number, but in this case 240 is the total number of cars. So the median is halfway of 240, which is 120. And the best way I can suggest in reading this is find another major mark. And I can see that I'm 1 square off of that major mark. That's where it intersects. So I'm just going to drop down to 120. You actually know that I was 1 mark off. It's quite easy to sort of lose your track of where you are on these graphs, which is why I compare it to a major mark on the graph and then go down and work my way. So the median distance traveled is 119 kilometers. And again, you're not telling me that it was 120. That's the 120th car, the middle of the list, and that car traveled 119 kilometers. The interquartile range, so we need our lower quartile and our upper quartile. Take 240 and divide it into 4, and you get 60. So here's my lower quartile, and you can make it 60, 120, 180. There is my upper quartile. And now again, I'm just going across, and I can see I'm now 2 squares away from this major line. So I'm going to drop down and go back and figure out that that is 120, 1, 2, 3. So we have 123, and it's always Q3 minus Q1. Let me write this so you can see it. Our formula is Q3 minus Q1. So I have 123 minus, and then my first quartile is 1 off, so it's here. So that is 114, which gives me an answer of 9. And then finally, how many cars were able to travel more than 130 kilometers? And so now I'm starting with 130 kilometers, following this line up, and it meets nicely at that point. They want to know how many cars traveled more than that. So you're thinking, traveled more than that are all of these cars traveled more than that. And so 220 minus 240, that's 20 cars.